you have done so much and have such a large body of work. One thing I wanted to pinpoint on is you describe the uniqueness of religion and spirituality. How does religion and spirituality then fit into these pushes that we're seeing in the field for cultural competency and humility?
Well, I think what religion and spirituality have to offer is, I think it's something quite distinctive, especially in Western culture, where the ethos in our culture and in psychology is mastery and control. We're all about solving problems, fixing things, extending our lives. You look at TV and there's always something about a medication or something about good health or good eating or exercise, all these things designed to increase control and mastery. And it's great. And it's I think, helped us extend our possibilities. But the reality is that, no matter how well you take care of yourself, we're all eventually going to die. We remain finite and to some extent frail creatures. And there are always limits to the control that we have in life situations. Not all of life is controllable. So while it's certainly important to be able to come to terms with, or to be able to extend mastery and control the controllable, the reality is we face situations that are uncontrollable. And we face the fact that we are frail, finite beings. And how do we come to terms with that? And I think Western culture and psychology in particular are limited that way when you face your limitations. And medicine as well, physicians who kind of turn and walk away from patients who are diagnosed with some terminal illness and can no longer respond to their treatments. So in religion and spirituality, we find all these resources for dealing with finitude, belief systems and rituals and communities that are all designed to help people just deal with the fact that, we're not gods ourselves, and we face limitations. And how do you grapple with that? In religion, you find these really neat coping mechanisms for that. So I think in some ways, religion and spirituality are based on that kind of fundamental humility, that we're not gods, that we're mortal creatures, and we're limited. And that's an important message too for psychologists. We're also among the frail and the limited, even though we have our PhDs and all of that, we remain limited in our understanding and in our ability to help people. So religion and spirituality, I think, are useful to all of us that way.
Nice. So with that, I know you are still doing quite a bit of work, whether it's on spiritual struggles, so the book you just did with Julie Exline, some of the work around religious and spiritual competencies. I know you're doing some of that with Michelle Pierce and some others. I'm curious, where do you think the field is headed next? What's going to be the next big question that we grapple with in psych of religion and spirituality?
Well, certainly, I think we're an exciting cutting edge in the field is really being able to catalyze more training in the area. I found when I first started doing talks and workshops in this area many years ago, I would not uncommonly come across just plain antagonism among mental health professionals to spirituality. And it could be pretty blatant. But in the last 10 years, I find it's much more common to face just questions from people who they're not antagonistic, they just don't know what to do around religious and spiritual issues that may arise in their work. How do you talk to people about it? Should we talk to people about it? How do you religious or spiritual problems or struggles? Just don't know what to do. They're not opposed to it, they just don't know what to do. And then as a result, often sidestep it, change the subject when it comes up to a topic that's more for them. But I think I think that, we're learning that these competencies are in fact trainable. We can educate people in the area, and Michelle Pierce and I developed a spiritual competency training program for mental health professionals. And we were able to show that it led to significant changes in knowledge, skills, and attitudes. And now in this new grant that we have that's being, Joe Courier is the principal investigator. We're developing a course, an online course in spiritual competencies and mental health that can be integrated into existing practicum or didactic courses for mental health professions across graduate disciplines.